This is Matt Hurd at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter, and this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. Hello and welcome to The Obsessive Viewer. We're a movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show, each episode. You can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com. You can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And if you're in Indianapolis, you can come to Shocktober in Irvington, which is a one-night event screening of short horror films from local filmmakers. We raffle off prizes, do Q&As with the filmmakers after each film, and we donate all the money to the Irvington Historical Society. Irvington is a great little community on the east side of Indianapolis, and it's a great event. This is our 5th year doing it. You can find more information as well as tickets at shocktoberinirvington.com. And also, if you're listening to this before September 30th, hopefully I get that posted up by then, go to nuvo.com and vote for Shocktober in Irvington as Best Local Film Festival under the Arts and Entertainment section. That would be awesome if you could do that. And of course, the sponsor for this episode is Horror Movie Yearbook from the Midwest Podcast Network. They are at HM Yearbook on Twitter and at horrormovieyearbook.com. And they are a great horror movie podcast that takes several movies and discusses them and reviews them in context of the current events and the pop culture of the year of release. You can find that once again at HM Yearbook on Twitter and at horrormovieyearbook.com. And yeah, so I have a guest once again this week. It is a return guest for the 4th time, Kyrsten Leister.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. I'm
like
good.
We haven't spent the whole day together.
Exactly. And we
spent all last night together. Not like that.
Don't say it like that. That will
get your minds out of the gutters, people.
You would be so lucky. So
okie doke.
Anyway, but last night we did go to a special event.
Yeah.
A friend of the show, Tony Troxel. He is the man behind geekinginindiana.com and the Indiana Geeking podcast. He invited us to a party that he was hosting at his parents' house, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. We're joking about murder, like the whole way there. We're driving past cornfields.
Yes.
And we're like, oh, this is where the murder happens.
Exactly.
This is where murder is made.
Oh, yeah. And it was especially interesting because you hadn't met any of the people there except for Tiny.
I knew Tiny,
yes.
And I know you.
Right.
And I've had some interaction with Tony online.
Right.
But I did that thing that your parents tell you not to do, and I went to go meet strangers off the internet.
Exactly. And you survived.
I was like, as long as I can outrun Matt, I'm fine.
Right. Well, I think I could. I
already told you my stance on running.
Right.
I will never try to outrun a serial killer because I figure someone who is a serial killer probably works out, does a fair amount of cardio. You have to have, you have to be confident you're going to catch whoever you're chasing.
See, you said, when you said that, I was like, okay, I get that, but like in my head, I'm just like,
a very confident serial killer. I imagine, very self-assured. I
imagined you being chased by a serial killer and then turning around and being like, "Oh, hey, what was it that it was that was in that John Mulaney bit? Like, you have big hips or something like that." And then his confidence is shattered.
That's the thing I'm sensitive about. But so I know I'm not going to outrun that guy.
Right.
So I'm not going to, running is my least favorite thing to do. I don't want to die out of breath and slightly sweaty.
Right.
So I'm just going to lay down, spend my last moments alive doing my favorite thing, which is lying on the ground and sobbing. And I'm going to let death come to me.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't die last night.
We didn't, but, and I'm going to go ahead and say my joke because I'm super excited about it. But something did die last night.
Oh, this.
Tony's bachelorhood. Wow. So this party was a kind of a celebration of life and friendship, and they've had some tough times over the summer, but and they just kind of had their friends over, and then suddenly it was kind of amazing because Tony was like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to do a toast," and then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to propose," and then he's just like, "Hey, our friend is ordained. Let's go ahead and get married." Yeah. And obviously, it was all planned.
It was totally staged.
Yeah,
but it was a really fun surprise.
Yeah, it was
really
super fun.
Yeah,
and Tiny was there. So
to be in like a gorilla wedding like that.
I know, right? It was super fun.
They didn't dress up in gorilla suits and get married.
Right.
There was a kilt, but no.
There was a kilt involved, but
no gorilla suits.
No gorilla suits.
Though that would have been pretty cool.
That would have been. Wait, are you judging my friend's wedding that you attended?
I'm just saying. It could have been better.
God. Anyway. So
that happened.
Yeah, that happened, and it was amazing. And like Tiny was there, and he, I just lost. What was it that he said? He was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't bring a gift or anything," which kind of was the point. Tony had mentioned like we didn't want to burden people with that kind of thing.
Yeah. Why would you bring a gift? You don't know that there's a wedding that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
but we did contribute s'mores ingredients. So yeah,
to the happy couple.
Exactly. Yeah. Because their lives are so filled with love, but they could always use some more. So that's.
Well, I think that about does it.
So anyway, congratulations.
Going. I don't want to be here.
Right. Congratulations to Tony and Liz.
Yeah.
And once again, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Like Tony specifically said, like, hey, you should bring Kyrsten. And
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. And we didn't get murdered. It was cool.
Yeah, we didn't. That was pretty nice cherry on top of a fine evening.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. So, what we're doing today, as we usually do when you're on, Kyrsten, is we kind of just, we kind of freeball it a little bit.
Whew.
Just say it like that? No?
I hope you're not. There's a blanket. I can't smell.
Now you've made it weird. Okay.
Oh,
now you've made it weird.
I've made it weird.
We spent the whole night together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
So let's talk about some stuff.
Let's talk about some stuff.
Please.
So, first of all, I do want to mention, just for those keeping count, we have seen 67 movies in the theater.
For those keeping, there are people out there with.
Count. There are people, I'm sure. And also, wow, my cat is giving you the death glare.
I think she looks content right now.
She kind of does look content. She's squinting at you, with, which I'm told is cat smiling.
She's doing that slow blink, which is supposed to show a sign of comfort.
Okay.
The slow blink. It's like they trust you.
Yeah.
The slow blink.
Whenever she does that to me, I slow blink back at her.
You should. That's showing her. Did you say something?
No, I didn't say anything. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're stealing my joke. My amazing joke.
It's not funny at all. It doesn't make sense.
We're in a car. We're driving a long distance.
And I cleared my throat.
You cleared my throat while we had a silence.
I didn't clear your throat. I cleared my throat.
Did I say my throat?
I think you did.
I don't.
Oh, I hope when we play this back,
I know.
Hope you said
I'm keeping
you cleared
it in.
my throat.
No, you cleared your throat, and it was at the end of like a silence. So did you say something?
Yeah, but you've done that like 3 times.
Yes,
and it's not a reference to anything. It's not.
I'm sorry
funny.
that my comedy has to be a reference to something.
Well, it's not funny unless it is.
Wow.
I mean it.
Wow.
I mean it.
Well. Anyway,
Matt.
So
I mean it.
Well, the bit you're doing isn't from a reference from anything.
Let's talk.
Okay,
movies.
Let's talk about stuff. So we were supposed to record together like 2 weeks ago.
It was last week.
Was that last week?
Yeah, because that was when we saw Searching for the second time.
So we've.
But I was
I'm
sick.
also referring to the time before when we got monocles.
Oh yeah, but we ended up. We were tired of
late. Each other. Yeah. So this is third time's a charm.
Yeah.
So we have basically seen a lot of stuff in those 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of dive into those. First, I do want to mention a couple of things. I'll save that for later. But 2 things. One is the new Venom trailer that came out I think a couple months ago, I guess. This movie does not interest you?
No.
That much?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I am not. I didn't read a whole lot of Spider-Man growing up. I did read comic books, but Spider-Man was never like my favorite. And I was like peripherally aware of Venom. I knew what Venom was, but I never cared about Venom.
Interesting.
So, I mean, there are a lot of people who are like big fans of Venom and Eddie
Brock.
but I don't care. And the movie looks uninteresting and kind of rushed or pieced together or something. It's like just missing the charm that all the Marvel movies have.
Absolutely.
You know?
And it's also just, it's kind of, it looks irritating. Like,
yeah.
It looks like we're in a time where like Marvel movies at least are knocking it out of the park pretty consistently. DC, you know, they have their fans, but for the most part, like, they're not to my liking. But it's still like, it's a machine, it's a business. And for some reason,
this
Sony
cog doesn't fit.
Exactly. And like I feel like Sony doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And for me, like, Venom was always an interesting character to me because I watched the cartoon in the 90s.
Yeah.
And Venom was interesting to me just because he felt like, I felt like my perception of it based on the cartoon. I don't know how factual this is to the source material, but my interpretation was that, he's like the big bad, like, he's like Spider-Man's like arch nemesis. And I'm sure that that's probably wrong, but like, I just remember really liking the Venom stuff in the cartoon.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man 3 happened, and that killed pretty much any interest I had in Venom. And then this
that was a horrible movie.
It was terrible.
That was so bad. And what was that weird, like, choreographed musical sequence
like
in the middle of the movie?
Peter Parker scene?
That was so weird. It didn't fit at all.
It really didn't. Like, he and like part-time co-host Mike White has been on record as defending that in Spider-Man 3 because his, at least back then, his theory or his reaction to that is that the symbiote is possessing Peter Parker.
Okay. And
what it does is it brings out your worst qualities or whatever. And Peter Parker is a nerd, so yeah, he's not going to be like an evil dude, or like, he's like a nerdy guy that's trying to be suave.
Yeah.
And I guess that makes sense, but in execution it doesn't.
But it was stupid, though.
It was stupid.
Doesn't matter if it
was
makes
really
sense. It was
stupid.
One thing that I said bothered me was that Venom talks.
Yes.
And I was just doing a quick Google search because I don't remember from the comics if
either.
Venom spoke.
Right.
And I did find it's just a message blog, but it says the symbiotes can express themselves to their host, who can talk for them, which implies that they can't speak directly. But then it's also paired with a screenshot from a Spider-Man comic where Venom is talking to Eddie. So I don't know. It bothers me that he's like, Eddie, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Venom, you know?
And I mean, I guess it's the implication
it's just
that
kind of goofy.
It is. It really is. And like, he can, if it was just him hearing that voice in his head, that would be kind of cool. That would be it would be interesting.
I think it would be cooler if he didn't talk at all.
Yeah.
And he's just this mysterious presence that he can sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be cool.
I'm writing my own movie now.
Right. But the thing that I kind of really hate about this new trailer is at the end when he's in the convenience store and he's telling that guy, he's like, I'm gonna bite off your head and your arms and your legs, and you're just gonna float down the street like a turd in the wind.
Like a turd in the
like,
you can't say that and be serious.
Yeah, like, you have. Like, this movie has a great cast. Like, Tom Hardy is an incredible actor. There's Riz Ahmed, who's incredible also. And also Michelle Williams, who's like one of my favorite actresses ever. And
but they ruined it with a turd in the wind.
Yeah, like, it's just, a turd in the, like, and like,
who thought that was a good idea?
Not only that, like, the fact that was written into a script, that it survived, like,
all the
filming,
cuts.
Survived all the cuts, made presumably the final cut of the movie.
And that the actor said it with a straight face.
Yes. And that Sony is like, oh, hey, That is going to be great. Let's put that in our marketing campaign. Yeah, like what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in seeing
No,
that.
I'm going to see it because I have A-list, but I don't
You're
know.
basically like, I'm going to see it because I have to.
Right, pretty much. So, yeah. And then also kind of throwing in Audible real quick, you're not interested in Halloween that much. You revealed that to me today. The movie Halloween.
Oh, I was like, I love Halloween. What are you talking about?
So yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I've never been a huge fan of the franchise.
Okay. I was just going to ask if you've seen.
Many... I've seen the original, and I've seen. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head which ones in the franchise I've seen. I've seen the first one, the original, and several others, but. Sure. I just don't find them scary.
That's
because
fair.
I don't know. Scary movies really get to me when you don't really see the bad guy,
right.
you know, or when it's like hidden or a mystery or like I don't know.
But doesn't Michael Myers have enough confidence for you? Like, he's confident.
But you know what though? I think I could outrun him because he always walks really slowly. I don't even know how he catches the people.
That's part of the magic of the movies.
But I mean, even in the trailer, he was almost in every scene that they showed in the trailer.
Really
and I'm like, there's no mystery there.
Yeah. That's true.
So he just doesn't really scare me as a villain.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I mean, like, I think of like one of the scariest movies from my childhood was Signs, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
Because the aliens don't come in until the very end of the movie.
Right.
You know, anytime you see them, you're only seeing like their silhouette or a glimpse or something. Even at the very end, they're kind of shrouded in shadows, you know, so you never get a good look at them. That's scary to me.
Nice.
When you don't get a good look at the bad guy. Cloverfield, I think, is another good example.
Is a good one. Oh, yeah. We should sit down and like watch a bunch of horror movies and then record about it. That's an idea.
We could call it something like Shockington.
Shockvember.
Yeah.
That's good.
Write that down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I'm not super interested in seeing it because I don't know.
That's fair. There's
no mystery to the horror.
I'll see that alone too.
Okay.
Anyway. So final thing in this little section here. We referenced DC and they're going to be making, or they're in the process of making a Joker movie, a Joker origin movie with like Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. That's not going to be connected to the established and going down in flames DC cinematic universe.
Right.
Cause you heard about Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Like
leaving as Superman.
Yeah. Which that in itself is weird cause like that same day he posted something on Instagram that was him, like the caption was, "Today was exciting." And like
today was a weird day for me.
Callback, nice. Oh God. Anyway, and like he was slowly like pulling up an action figure of him as Spider-Man or Superman. And
then he set it on fire.
No, that was it. Like he was just today was.
Did he draw a mustache on it? Did he?
That would have been awesome. Cause like I kind of wonder if like there was speculation that this was kind of a negotiation tactic, but like I kind of wonder if, like what if he's been miserable in it and he's just like, you know.
I will say this. I feel like he's gotten a lot of unfair flack.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, cause the movies haven't been great.
Right.
You know, the digital animation to take off his mustache was laughable.
It really was.
And I feel like, maybe he's been the butt of the joke a lot for a role that he played well.
Yeah.
He did well with what he was given. It's that what he was given was a subpar.
Yeah. He has like a good presence.
Yeah. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He does well with the role. So, I mean, maybe I get it. Maybe part of him is just fed up. Like, I don't have to do this crap. I'm Henry Cavill,
Plus, he is just coming off of being in Mission Impossible Fallout, which I know you didn't see. And
I didn't see it, but he looked hunky.
Yeah, he did. He did the whole arm reload thing. Grew facial hair.
Right? It's
but I saw Fallout and like it was really good and like he was really great in it. So like he can clearly do well out. Like it's not like he's not typecast as Superman.
I hope he does bigger stuff now.
Me too.
Bigger than Superman.
Right. Last thing in this section, Captain Marvel trailer. What'd you think?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah. You just sat there for a long time just with a blank stare. Like, are you really just thinking of Henry Cavill reloading his arms?
I did say he looked hunky.
Yeah.
It looks so exciting.
It does.
I love, apparently, who's the actress who was playing Captain Marvel?
Brie Larson.
Yeah. She there was something I saw where she was quoted. They told her they wanted her to smile more.
I heard about that.
She refused.
Right.
She was like, male heroes don't have to smile. I'm not going to smile, and she fucking didn't. I'm like, yes.
I can't believe that is something that like this day and age. They're like,
hey, superhero, smile more.
Like, what the?
Like, I'm just trying to save the world. Like, let me do my job.
Like, is that serious? Like, I don't know. I don't want to get on a soapbox, but you do need to smile more. But joking. Okay. She's giving me the death. Like, she's reminding me of my cat.
Yeah.
But like the whole like everyone should know like it's ridiculous and offensive and like really what's the word I'm looking for? Condescending.
Yeah, it is.
To, like tell a woman like, oh, you should smile more. Like, fuck you.
So I've been working in my current job for a little over 3 years, but when I started at the company that we work at, I was in the inventory department. So I was working in basically it's a warehouse, and we did shipping, receiving, I worked with a group of guys. Right. I was the only woman who worked down there, and we would not the guys that I worked with, but the people who would pass through, delivery drivers and everything, mail couriers, all the time told me to smile. And I'm like, you never tell the guys that I work with to smile. Right. Like you would never, it's harmless. If it's so harmless, tell the big black guy over there to smile. Right. If it's so freaking harmless. Oh yeah. You know?
Go into the security office where the former Marine is and tell him to smile.
And go tell him to smile.
Yeah. God.
It's not harmless.
Right. Go up to the
demeaning.
Second floor where
it really is.
The amazing podcaster security guard is and tell him to smile more. That's me.
That's when Tiny was
No, that was me. I'm talking about me. He worked nights.
But Tiny, I feel like is a great example. Like no one would walk up to Tiny and tell him to smile, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And also me. Like
Matt, you're like a cupcake, okay? And
I'm
Tiny's
fierce.
a bran muffin, all right? Full of fiber.
God. You haven't seen me reload my arms. That's the problem. That's annoying. But way off topic. Wait, what's annoying?
Telling women to smile.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate it.
I've never, I've never been one to do that. Although now I'm wondering, like, it would be amazing to go, well, not amazing, but it would be interesting, funny to go back in time just to fuck with you. Like when we first met, cause I was a security guard.
Well, I wouldn't be here right now because we would not be friends.
You don't
I'm like,
know
he's a misogynist. Okay.
Right.
Good to know that now.
Yeah. Right.
I won't waste the next 6 years of my life engaging in a friendship.
Jesus. Yeah, I guess it has been. Yeah.
Or close to it. Close to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the trailer. So I loved seeing Nick Fury, 30 years younger, and I loved seeing Coulson.
Right.
Oh my God, you know how much I love Coulson.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I loved seeing the blockbuster. That was just
in case you forgot what decade this movie is set in.
Which
here's a young Samuel L. Jackson and a blockbuster.
Right.
A blockbuster video.
Oh yes. I just burped a little bit. I don't know why I just said that. I'm gonna have to go back.
You didn't have to say anything.
I know, right?
What I should have said was
nothing. But yeah, so
it looks very exciting.
It looks really good. Yeah. A lot of people are talking about her punching an elderly woman, which I don't know if they're talking about it as like a controversy.
Well, here's the thing. That's I was looking up like hidden stuff in the trailer. There's like a type of alien that was at war
Skrulls.
with the Kree. Yeah, the Skrulls. Yes. They were at war with the Kree. And they can like transform themselves. They can look like anyone. And so everyone's like, oh, the old woman is obviously a Skrull.
Obviously.
You know? Because why? Okay, why would she punch her?
Well, to be fair,
maybe she told her to smile.
I know, right? God.
If that happens in the movie, if she's like, you should smile more, and then she just like punches her in the face, I'm gonna lose my shit in the movie.
That would be awesome. One thing that I did love about the trailer, which I mean, like, obviously I'm a man, so like I don't obviously, so like I don't like I had like when watching it, like I can't remember exactly how it was, but like it has like words coming up and then it says like her and then like what made her into like a hero or something, and like it goes from like her into like the other letters appear, and it's just like I got kind of chills. Like that's so awesome because this is the first like female
like look,
superhero
this is the
movie
first
for Marvel.
Yeah, female Marvel standalone movie.
Yeah,
it's really cool. One thing I really liked in the comics, at one point she has a mohawk.
Okay.
And that's like cool. An iconic appearance of hers in the suit with the mohawk. That's like how a lot of people envision the character. Yeah. And there's one scene in the trailer where she's got a helmet on with like a mohawk on it.
Oh,
so it was
awesome.
like obviously a reference to that iconic image of her with the mohawk. So
that's cool.
Cool.
I didn't catch it. I only watched the trailer once. So
I watched it a couple times.
Nice.
So
nice.
And then one thing, and the internet, I didn't catch this myself. The internet caught this, and I saw it on the internet.
Okay.
There's a poster that's been released with the cat.
Yeah. With the cat butt.
Yeah. Right in the corner, and she has a pet cat in the comics, so everyone's like, "Oh, it's her cat."
Yeah, a lot of like articles was like,
and I'm like, "Of course, the first female superhero." They're like, "She's a cat lady."
Right.
Representation matters.
Right.
Okay?
I wonder if the cat smiles more. But anyway,
we didn't talk about Joker though.
Oh, we didn't.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over.
We did. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow, because I remember saying like there's a Joker. What? How did we get off topic?
And then you were like, "Oh, DC. Let's talk about DC for a minute." Henry Cavill, his
Henry
mustache.
Cavill. Okay, wow. So thank you for keeping me on track.
Yeah.
So there's a Joker standalone movie that's coming out. It's going to be directed by Todd Phillips, who did he did Old School and the Hangover films.
Which is so odd.
So odd.
What kind of movie is this going to be?
And it's going to be produced by Martin Scorsese. It's going to co-star or feature Robert De Niro and Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. And from my understanding, it's a Joker origin movie, which like that alone, like I don't like hearing that, because the main thing that I love about the Joker is he's, mysterious, and like we don't need his backstory because he's chaos incarnate. But from what I understand, I think that it's supposed to take a lot of influence from The Killing Joke. Have you ever read The Killing Joke? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's just a really bizarre thing.
Yeah, I think it could be cool. I really like the teaser that they released.
Right. They had a screen test video that just basically zoomed in on Joaquin Phoenix's face, and it just kind of flashed into the makeup.
Yeah, and the music was really cool, and he just it's almost chilling the way he smiles, and he's got the face paint on, and then his face just drops.
Right.
I think he's going to be a good Joker.
Me too.
Obviously, I think Mark Hamill might actually be my favorite Joker.
I don't blame you there. He's incredible.
Heath Ledger is a close second because it was so like unexpected. That was so unlike what we had seen from the character.
And so many people were like, "Oh, Heath Ledger, the guy from A Knight's Tale?" Okay. The 10 Things I Hate About You guy? Okay.
Did not care for the Jared Leto. The movie Suicide Squad wasn't a good movie,
right?
But also, I hated his interpretation of the Joker. It was
I really hated it too.
I just didn't see the point.
Yeah, and he wasn't even in the movie that much. But like, obviously, it's the Joker. So like, from Heath Ledger on, like anyone who portrays the Joker is going to be under very tight scrutiny. Yeah.
But I think Joaquin Phoenix he's a great actor.
Right.
And seeing him in the costume and with the makeup, I really think this could be a good movie.
Me too.
I hope it's a good script.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
I think it could be good, though.
Yeah, I think that screen test is what kind of sold me on it as like, okay, they're not really fucking around with it. Like they're not. Hopefully, they're gonna do the character justice and the world justice. No pun intended. But yeah,
I think this could really be the dawn of something good. Pun intended.
I'm
Own
sorry,
your puns, you weak son of a bitch.
Yeah. Wow. You're on a completely different league here.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I am on a different league.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, and really, I just hope that Joaquin Phoenix sends his co-stars, used condoms and everything.
Yeah. Will Smith did not make it a secret that he hates Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Hates him.
Oh God. That movie, I really hated that movie.
It was not
Suicide
good.
Squad.
It was not good.
Yeah.
The only good thing that came out of it was that song Heathens.
Oh, yeah.
21 Pilots.
That was 21 Pilots, yeah. Sure, yeah. I don't even remember hearing it, listening to it that much.
Well, it's because you don't have a radio in your car. It was like all over the radio.
Okay. So even if I had a radio in my car, I wouldn't listen to it. I don't listen to the radio.
You just sound like a snob.
I know. I don't even own a radio.
Yeah, I know because it's broken.
I know.
All right.
Anyway, let's go.
Let's talk about some movies.
Yeah, we are doing a movie theater potpourri or like an extended potpourri, essentially. So we've got a bunch of stuff. I want to talk about. Do you want to save the TV stuff for later, or
let's do movies first.
Okay.
Why don't we do that?
So we a few weeks ago we saw The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Yeah.
Which, I was excited for that just because I love Kate McKinnon and Mila Kunis. And even though the spy genre is a little diluted with stuff, like there's a lot.
It's kind of oversaturated right now.
That's the word I was looking for. And
this was like kind of turning it on its head.
It was, yeah. And it was fun because it wasn't like a strict, like, it wasn't parodying it.
It did not take itself seriously.
No, it really didn't.
It was just a lot of fun.
It was fun. And the action stuff was pretty cool. Like, I enjoyed it. There was some stuff that I wasn't expecting. Some stuff I did expect, but it didn't really matter to me that much when it didn't detract from the movie with me. What did you think of The Spy Who Dumped Me?
Thought it was good. Yeah. There was 100% more dicks than I expected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We do see some dicks.
Because I was expecting 0 dicks, and there was 1 dick.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I'm always expecting full frontal.
I guess you should always be on the lookout.
Right.
For dicks.
Ever since Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I've been on the lookout for.
Just look out for dicks. Yeah, it was good. It was fun. They had great chemistry. Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon. They were very funny together.
Mm-hmm. Kate McKinnon is one of those comedic actresses that I kind of feel like she should be. It's hard to explain, but like you get comedic actors like Kevin Hart and like Melissa McCarthy. And like they're kind of typecast to their specific brand of comedy. We talked about this in a previous episode with Tiny when we actually talked about Ride Along 2, I think. But basically, the comedy with certain comedic actors is centered around their shtick, their brand to sell tickets.
What works for them?
Yeah, and like usually I'm not a big fan of that because it's just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of just. Like, okay, I'm not seeing like anything new. It's just rehashing a brand. And like Kate McKinnon is kind of skirting that line a little bit because she's kind of doing like a shtick that she is being known for. But there's something about her energy and her, like the way she does it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to see more of her in everything.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever she's doing is working for me.
Oh, absolutely. So. She's got that like kind of dry,
like a dry delivery.
Yeah, a dry delivery, but still like in command of like the situation and the scene.
She's
so,
totally
like,
a scene stealer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it was a fun movie.
Yeah, my favorite thing was, I pointed this out to you when we were at the movie. There was an old man who was sitting at the end of our row. He just came out. He got his little walker, and he came out by himself on a Sunday night to see The Spy Who Dumped Me. And he sat through the whole movie, and he loved it. And I just was like, that's Matt.
Thank you.
That's Matt in like 50 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
That's going to be you.
Yeah.
All by yourself.
Yeah.
No family to love you.
Wow.
Just out seeing movies. The only bright spot in your life. The only thing that brings you any joy.
That is true.
Just looking at dicks on screen.
Yeah, and by that point I will have long killed you. By the way, I have this other friend that has a party planned for like in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of winter.
So when I go missing, everyone knows who to suspect. It's the guy who just said he's going to kill me.
It's not. Joking. JK, guys.
You better hope I don't go missing.
I know. I'm very nervous about that now.
Because you are going to go to jail.
Although, if that does happen, the downloads for this episode will be through the roof.
It'll be just like Stephanie's vlog.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that.
Subscribers.
Yeah. Okay. So the next movie, we had like that wasn't the same day. Anyway, we also watched, Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was excited to see it because I love John Cho. And
yeah, this was your pick.
Yeah. And it's a movie that I had been wanting to watch. I knew that it was at Heartland last year, which we didn't talk about Heartland. We'll have to talk about that at the end of the episode, but it was at Heartland like last year, and I didn't get a chance to see it. And I was excited to see it because I'd heard some good stuff, and it's one of the few films that had a wide release that was filmed in Indiana.
Yeah.
Because I
was actually talking about the movie to my boss the other day.
Oh yeah,
because she was going to Columbus for something, and nice. I was like, "Oh, I just watched a movie." She goes, "Oh yeah, Columbus," and I'm like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Was it good?" And I was like.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, but I don't know if it was good.
It was beautiful. Like, that movie, like, it looked just gorgeous.
Yeah. It's truly, I had no idea that the architecture in Columbus, Indiana
honestly,
was so beautiful.
Didn't either. Oh, yeah.
But that's apparently what it's known for. Like, that's what she's going to do is look at the buildings. And she even talked about the bank, and that was like a big focal point in the movies.
Yeah.
In the movie.
But I think that the kind of thing that wasn't, to my liking at least, it wasn't like, it was a beautiful movie to look at, and I liked characterization.
But it wasn't about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my problem. It was a real thinky thought piece.
Right.
And
it was character driven,
but nothing happened.
But nothing happened. Yeah.
I like John Cho, but he didn't have anything to do.
Right.
And I Haley Lou Richardson, who played Casey, I thought she was good. I liked her.
She did a great job.
But at the same time, I was like, why did this movie need to be made?
Right.
What is the point?
Yeah.
There's no significant story from my perspective that needs to be told here.
The kind of big character arc, I guess, is like both John Cho's characters dealing with his father being
sick and hospitalized and possibly his impending death.
And then
blah blah blah.
Yeah, and then Casey as a character is kind of, she's post high school, kind of in between. I think it was supposed to be like a gap year kind of thing.
Yeah, because she had talked about everyone was asking her when she was starting school, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing."
Right, and like
she was just like gonna work and take care of her mom. And,
and like those pieces are really strong, like narrative pieces for like a movie that would be to my liking, but just it seemed like it didn't make it made the architecture more of the focal point rather than their characterization. And that was it was pretty to look at, but it was also like,
but it didn't give me like enough of an investment in the characters to care about their growth and where they ended up.
Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, the way that it was shot was beautiful though.
It was a very visually pleasing movie.
Exactly.
But
meh. Yeah. But speaking of John Cho,
yeah.
We saw Searching twice.
Yes.
Because we couldn't find the movie. Do you get it? You should smile more.
Matt.
JK. So Searching is a movie that
it is a movie.
It is.
It's a mystery thriller.
It is, which you are a big fan of.
I am. And the reason I really wanted to see it twice is because this is a great example of a mystery that you could solve along with the characters in the movie.
Right.
They give you different clues and hints that if you're paying attention, if you put the pieces together, you can solve the whodunit.
Right.
So after we saw the movie and we knew how it ended, I really wanted to... What the heck was that?
I know.
Well, this is how we die.
It is. Yeah.
I really wanted to go back and watch it and look for all the little things. And I did notice a lot of stuff second time around, knowing what I knew.
Right.
You know, going back and rewatching it, I noticed a lot of stuff. It was really, it's cool how they gave you that information. You didn't even know it.
Yeah. And they seed so much stuff. And like the way that the story unfolds is really compelling. It just, and I wanted to ask you, like, let's talk about the screen life style.
Yeah.
So I had heard that the producer, he's also the producer of the Unfriended movies, which the first one isn't that good, but the second one was surprisingly good. He, I think, said that he has tons of movies like in development with that style. So one of the things that I was kind of conscious of, actually I had a Twitter conversation with Alex from Midwest Podcast Network, and we had a conversation about how the style is really interesting and really unique.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you, as a filmmaker would want to pigeonhole yourself into limiting yourself to only doing movies of this style.
Right. Also,
but for this movie, it worked.
It really did.
Really well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I could kind of see it being like this breakout thing. Like he has a bunch of movies that are in development that he wants to make with this style, or has like directors on hand to do that and everything. But, I kind of feel like we're on the cusp of like the next found footage thing. Cause like found footage movies were everywhere.
Yeah.
And that became an oversaturated kind of gimmick. So I'm kind of curious, like in 5 years, are we going to look back on Searching and be like, oh yeah, this is the
start of,
this is the Blair Witch Project of this type of movie. And also another thing that Alex brought up that is, really something that I didn't really think about was that by default, it kind of dates the movie immediately.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's definitely not timeless.
Right. Which I also thought, like, it would be kind of neat to, this is the second time travel reference I make this podcast, but it would be kind of interesting to go back in time to like the 50s and like show someone searching and like watch their head explode. Like, they don't.
Well, but also they would be like, time travel or what?
Right.
Like you wouldn't have time to get to the movie.
Right. Well, I would be discreet about it.
Let me show you this talkie picture. Like, what? There's no good way to do this.
I said I would go back to the 50s. Why would I? Like, I'm gonna show you a talkie. Gas up the horse and buggy. I'm gonna. We'll have to go to the
cinema.
The cinema, the vaudeville stage, and
wipe me off, Johnny.
Anyway, it was really compelling. The mystery was
John
really
Cho
good.
was amazing
For someone who was acting against really nothing for the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
Really,
he's acting
really
to
good.
a screen.
Oh yeah.
I thought
really
I thought the makeup was good because they did a good job of like subtly aging him up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Making him more kind of. Are you talking about just in general, or like just like throughout the movie, throughout the like?
No. I mean in general.
Okay. Yeah, I could kind of see that.
Because I mean, he had wrinkles and like frown lines that he didn't have in the video footage with his wife. You know?
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
and also like slight spoiler, I guess, but like the first like 10 minutes is like
it's
really
touching and like heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, like there are people that were kind of critical of it, saying like, oh, it's basically Up. Which, okay, it is similar.
But I mean, that story, like, that's not just Up.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
They don't have a market on.
Right. And also the way that they could convey that story with this type of thing.
Yeah, it's
like,
totally
that's the
unique.
best part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which makes
really
me
cool.
interested in future Screen Life or Screen Live, whatever they're calling it, movies, because, like, personally, and it's going to be a shocker to everyone, I would love to see a rom-com in this format. Like, I think that would be great.
Well, I am shocked.
And yes, and I'm going to drag you to the theater to see it when it gets made. But yeah, so anyway, Just the way, also just the way that they conveyed the story through the screen, like it didn't get tired for me.
Right.
Or didn't wear thin.
Yeah, and there were good bits of humor interspersed in the movie, which was good. Yeah. It was good, like a good way to break the tension.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then you can build back up.
Right.
It was good. It was a very compelling and interesting film. I didn't enjoy it nearly as much the second time because that was the day I was really sick.
That's
and
right.
And the whole movie, I was just like, I wanted to like just leave.
Yeah, and also you were sitting to my left and not to my right, so that
really
that's what
threw
caused
you,
you to be sick.
It threw you off your rhythm.
It did. But anyway, the other thing about that is, like, both times that I saw it, I didn't mention this to you because I didn't think about it, but like, it really makes me want to go on my laptop and organize everything in perfect folders.
Yeah.
Because
he was able to find everything immediately.
Like, amazing.
And it was that whole spreadsheet he had.
Oh my god.
I bet you loved that. That was like Excel porn.
It was. It really was. Like, it looked so good.
Yeah.
I whispered to you, I was like, that's a good spreadsheet. That's a good spreadsheet. And it was, yeah.
It was.
He didn't do any functions in it or anything. So, I mean, I guess he didn't.
I think we were led to believe. Well, he wasn't like super adept. Now he had some kind of job in. Was it something in technology, or was he a consultant or something?
I feel like it was something in maybe. I couldn't.
But he didn't seem like really adept at using the computer.
Like he used
like he didn't know what Tumblr was.
Right, that was a great part.
Yeah. He misspelled Tumblr when he was trying to find it on Google. What is a Tumblr?
Yeah. But yeah, it's in like his, also one of the things that kind of stretched your, my suspension of disbelief just a little bit was like, okay, do people really use FaceTime that much? Do they use?
Oh yeah, they
like
that was how they communicated.
Yeah,
that was like they're a FaceTime family.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I'm sure that there are people out there. One thing that I couldn't suspend my disbelief is how involved in the investigation he was allowed to be.
Yeah.
Like they were letting him like contact all of her friends,
right?
You know, and he was like doing a lot of the investigation himself, and then giving the information to the police. Like I felt like
making his own spreadsheets.
I felt like the police would not allow him to be that involved,
right?
Especially if. I mean, there was even the slightest potential that he could have been a suspect, which, let's be honest, there had to have been. In a real investigation, he definitely would have been a suspect. A single father, you know, a teenage daughter. He was,
with a tragic past. Like,
and he didn't report her missing for like a day and a half.
Right.
You know, so I feel like they would not have allowed him to be as involved in the investigation as he was.
That, and then also, just the way that they communicate and stuff, but yeah, the way that everything is put together and is the way that everything on their computer is organized was very inspiring to me. Searching was great.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I was like, this is probably gonna be on my top 10 for the year, but I could see it being bumped off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, it's just like, I've seen a lot of movies this year, so it might be, I don't know. It could make its way there, but it'll probably be an honorable mention.
Okay.
You're
not gonna hurt my feelings.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, I'm just making it clear.
It sounds like you're letting me down easy.
No. It's just,
it's not you, it's the movie.
It's not you. It's a little bit you.
Shut up. It's not you, it's John Cho.
Right, exactly. But yeah, real quick, like, what type of movies would you like to see in this format? Or what type of stories do you think would lend themselves to being interesting in this format?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought about that at all. I think it's great for mystery because it limits what information the audience can have.
Yeah.
You know, which is good for a mystery, because you're always going to be withholding something from the audience that gives it the element of mystery. I do think it could work for a rom-com. It's not that I hate rom-coms. I just don't, you know, they're not.
You hate rom-coms.
It's not my genre, you know.
Yeah,
but it would work. I don't know. What do you think?
Rom-coms. I just
is that it?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Like, I could see it being. Oh, we need to talk about that. I could see it being utilized better for like short films. Like, I could see like a short film about like a really depressing short film about like a kid with his dog or something, like chronicling that, and then it ends terribly with the dog getting rabies and mauling the kid to death.
Oh.
Yeah. Shout out
you just wrote it. Someone want to make that movie?
Right. But yeah, I definitely think rom-com is where it'll be. Yeah. And I'm excited at the prospect of that. Now, the producer, or it might have been the director, I think it was the producer, before the movie, they showed like a clip of him saying like, oh, we did this thing.
Yeah.
We had short films and everything submitted, and this is the one that won. There are parameters where they had to have something to do with technology. So what do you think of the short film that they showed?
It was good. It was fun. They had a theme. There was a theme they had to stick to too. It was "We Are What We Hide" or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
It was good. It was funny. I thought that was really neat to do before the film.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. If you like short films, you can go to Sharktober and everything. October 12th. I didn't mention it at the top. It's October 12th, 2018, at Playground Production Studios. Yeah.
Like someone's gonna be listening to this in 6 years and be like, I missed it.
They could be. You don't know. If you are listening to this 6 years from now, so that's what, 2024.
Tweet us.
Tweet us at burger_lurker at obsessive viewer.
And let us know.
Yeah, only if it's the year 2024.
Other's, please don't bother us.
Yes, exactly.
We're obviously very important people in 2024.
Exactly. I'm going to be so
very busy.
Right.
We have British accents now.
But yeah, go ahead and tweet us. Or if Twitter has been abolished by the current
because it caused World War III.
Exactly. Facebook us or something. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so looking forward to 2024 now.
Or Ucast us.
Ucast, yes.
Is that
nice
a real
comeback.
thing?
No, I don't think so.
Because every other social media
was real. Yeah. And I heard that they made a conscious effort to show screens that were, especially like in the beginning when it's kind of a time lapse, to make it look authentic to whatever year it was.
Okay.
So like there's little bits and pieces that like the way that the like YouTube banner is presented, it's like authentic to the year that it's depicting in the movie. Which I think is a cool detail.
What does that have to do with Ucast?
Oh, just because you said that they were all like all the other social networking stuff was real and everything, so I just wanted to throw in that tidbit.
So there's nothing to do with Ucast. I just thought it was weird that they made up one website.
Yeah, I kind of
all the others were real.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be something similar to Ucast out there. There has to be.
It was supposed to be like a kind of Twitch kind of stand-in, although that's more for gaming and stuff. But like also probably because, that kind of streaming is kind of specific to, well, Snapchat is kind of like that. Or Periscope. But
I just thought it was odd that there was only one website that they made up.
Well, I think I think it's supposed to be like a Periscope thing, which is basically that same thing.
So then why didn't they use Periscope?
Because Periscope is similar. I believe it's similar to Snapchat in that once it's done, it disappears.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, it's more phone based. You can't stream it. I don't think you
through
can
a
do it from a webcam. Yeah. So there's. I understand that's why that's my understanding at least.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving along, should we talk about the next movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's next?
We're kind of going through these kind of quick.
Chip. Let's wrap it up.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway,
that was what it was.
Yeah. So anyway, the Meg. Yeah. You were really excited about the Meg.
I was, because I love a good actiony disaster movie.
Yes.
No, I did. I feel bad for the sharks.
I think
I've talked about this before because there was all this shark panic after Jaws came out.
Right.
People just went out and started hunting sharks and killing them by the dozens, And you're more likely to be killed by a vending machine than a shark. Like a vending machine.
Why are you hating on vending machines?
I'm just saying, who's the real enemy here?
You're vilifying vending machines.
They deserve it.
Wow.
With their glass and their snacks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I totally get that movies that make sharks out to be these unstoppable killing machines, it's definitely painting them in a poor light.
Right.
And it's causing people to be it's causing shark panic, you know. So there's that, but also it was a fun movie.
Yeah. Also, it was a prehistoric shark.
It was. It wasn't like a real shark. It was the megalodon.
Right.
Which
is a real shark from the past.
That has been extinct for like millions of years.
Or so we think.
That's right.
Yes. Jason Statham was the star. It was clearly like a co-production with some Chinese like film studios because like it was a very China heavy movie, which is fine. But it just seemed. I feel like I'm walking myself into a corner. You're looking at me kind of weird. It's kind of funny to see that. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it does. No, what are you saying?
I'm not saying that because of like the ethnicity or anything, but I'm saying that because of box office. Like it's clear that like an American studio, like we're at a time where like American studios can't necessarily. Like it's more that the international box office, particularly China, has a bigger stake in selling a film than the American box office. And I think that's just the state of movie going in the United States.
Yeah, it definitely starred some Chinese actors who are not known or well known in the United States. I get that.
Yeah. Not that there's a problem with that at all.
The female romantic lead.
Yeah.
For example, like and I get what you mean. It's an odd choice because you think that they would want to put like a big name in that role. But it was Li Bingbing. Who played Su-yin.
Yes.
But there were plenty of big names in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Ruby Rose, Rainn Wilson.
Yes.
Who played, like, the mysterious billionaire-type guy who funded the whole enterprise. Oh, man, the guy who played the Wall, his name is Olafur Dari Olafsson.
Okay.
What a name. That's so cool.
But, yeah, the make was...
It was like formulaically, it was like a total like sci-fi, like disaster film.
Yeah, and it kind
of feels like a sci-fi movie that got like too big for its britches, you know?
Oh yeah, it definitely feels like the type of movie that you would see on Sci-Fi, the channel
that like comes on right before Sharknado 2.
Exactly. And I kind of felt like the first half of the movie, it took a little bit to get to the point where I was more into the ridiculousness of it. Because when you have a movie like this, I want it to just be
straight into the action.
Straight into the action, just over the top silliness.
Yeah.
But then they had to like develop characters.
They did. That was kind of what separated it from like a true like sci-fi B film, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I was kind of on board with that. Like the romantic subplot between Jason Statham and
I was totally invested
Lee.
in the relationship between Su-yin's daughter and Jason Statham's character. That was like so sweet.
Oh yeah, that was what kind of elevated it for me because like
I love how they had that little tease in the beginning, like when he was where was he? In like Taiwan or something. Where he was hiding out.
Yes.
And he was like really good with the kids there.
Right.
And like that's total foreshadowing that he's gonna and then he ended up being like really good with Su-yin's daughter.
Which was that was
just
great.
It was humanizing and
that's the best way to put it. Because it could have been formulaic, just a romantic relationship with her.
Or he could have been just like action guy.
Exactly.
But he had this he was a total softie.
Oh, absolutely.
So it was a good character.
Yeah. And like Jason Statham, I feel like he works well as an action movie star. Like, have you seen any of the movies that he's kind of been in?
Yeah.
Kind of big in? I don't know. But
I've seen Jason Statham movies.
Yeah, but like he kind of brought a lot to the role that I wasn't really expecting out of him, because I just kind of expected him to be a kind of just rote action character.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, even like the supporting cast was like really well developed. The Wall, Toshi, DJ, they were all like really distinct characters who had like a specific role to play.
Yeah. And DJ in particular was a lot of fun just because he was the kind of comic relief.
Yeah, he was the guy who was saying what the audience was thinking the whole time.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah. A good role for him.
It wasn't a Dwight type role. Like, he's not typecast.
It was still a comedic role.
Yeah.
But totally different from what he's known for. And I'm glad to see that I want him to do more stuff. I love Rainn Wilson.
Me too. Oh yeah.
I want him to do more.
Oh yeah.
But it was good to see him.
Yeah. What did you think of the special effects? Did you buy that there was a megalodon?
No.
Okay.
Only because I have a brain. I don't know. I remember them being pretty okay. I don't remember anything standing out as really like ridiculous. Right. I guess.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very well done in terms of visual effects.
The one thing I'm thinking of is when the whale explodes.
Yes.
Like that was, it looked good. Mm-hmm. You know, it looked good.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a good looking whale carcass.
You care about sharks, but fuck the whales.
Fuck the whales, man. Yeah. Whale never did nothing for me.
I will say, I'm still, to this day, we saw this a few weeks ago. To this day, I'm still disappointed that there was no megalodon eating a helicopter scene.
I know, we were waiting for that. There was a megalodon eating another megalodon.
Right.
One jumped out of the ocean and ate another one. Yeah. And it was like, that one's bigger.
Right.
It's a megalodon. But we were waiting the entire movie for a megalodon, because there were helicopters at several different points flying super low to the water in megalodon-infested water.
Right.
And we were just waiting for one to jump out of the ocean and snatch a helicopter.
Yeah. And they said
it didn't happen.
Yeah. I really have the theory that they were going to do something like that.
Maybe they ran out of budget.
They ran out of budget. Yeah. So really disappointed in that.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been a really cool scene.
Yeah. So moving along, anything else to say about the Meg?
No, it wasn't great, but I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was exactly what I expected it to be.
Right. So. If you were to make a top 10 list, would it be on your top 10 list?
It would not, no.
Okay.
Probably not.
Okay. Will you make a top 10 list? No, you should. I'm just saying. You know.
I don't know.
It's part of the podcast. It's cool.
Am I part of the podcast?
Well, yeah, you have a shirt and a mug.
I do.
Yeah. This is your 4th time on the podcast, so you're knighted for the podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Tony Stark thing. Remember?
Well, it's
you're
also
an Avenger.
Okay, but it didn't come from Tony Stark.
I am the Tony Stark of podcasting. That's how,
like, the Queen of England knights people.
I'm the Tony Stark of podcasting. That's all I'll say to that. Hey,
what's next?
Before we move on, I just want to ask you a simple favor. Can we talk about the movie that we watched today? Just titled A Simple Favor.
God. Yeah,
the movie we saw today.
Let's talk about it. So it was good.
A simple favor.
Yeah. No, it was really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A weird movie.
Very weird. And
I turned my mic off. Oh, it's back on.
Okay. How long did you have it off?
No, just a second.
Okay, thank God. So we'll talk about A Simple Favor. We'll do a separate spoiler section for that movie in particular.
Okay. Yeah, because it's so fresh.
Yeah.
And it definitely needs a separate spoiler section.
So A Simple Favor is Anna Kendrick, Blake Lively, and directed by Paul Feig, based on a novel. I didn't know that about it until we saw the movie. But Paul Feig is known for doing Bridesmaids.
So this is like totally different.
It's totally different,
but kind of not really.
Yeah, right. And like he is like a comedy guy, but like he did The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. I never saw that.
I didn't either.
Also, Spy, Bridesmaids. Ghostbusters that the internet loved so much. He was also the executive producer of Freaks and Geeks. So, yeah. But anyway.
But you could definitely tell this was directed by a comedic director.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There was so much comedy in the movie that it was... And it balanced it well with the comedy and the kind of thriller aspects of it.
Yeah. I think, we were pointing out all the supporting actors. I think every supporting actor in this movie was a comedic actor. And it's odd because I wasn't expecting that at all, because it looks like, from the trailer, it looks like just a straight suspense thriller.
It really did.
You know, and it didn't hint at all to this comedic tone that it has. And even like during big dramatic moments, there were, it was still maintained that same comedic tone.
Oh yeah. And I knew, the guy that played Sean, the husband of Blake Lively, he is Henry Golding. He was one of the leads in Crazy Rich Asians this year.
Is he actually British?
He is, I think, because
he had a British accent.
He did, and he had British accent in Crazy Rich
I haven't
Asians.
seen Crazy Rich Asians.
You know, it was okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It was okay.
Well, I'm gonna assume he's actually British then.
Anyway, yeah, sure. So, so he was in it, and he's had a big year.
Yeah. It was good. Anna Kendrick was so good in this movie.
She really was, and I love her. She's
my
amazing.
God, just her character was so distinct.
Mm-hmm.
And she totally captured that like awkward wanting to fit in so bad, like it's almost painful to watch. You know?
Absolutely. It's just very, very awkward and wanting to be kind of pleasing and everything. And
she was just so awkward. It was charming.
Exactly, charming. That's the way I would, because I use that word a lot. But I found her to be incredibly charming throughout the movie, and it played to the advantage of us as mystery viewing movie people. That it was that because you kind of get the sense that maybe there's something off about her.
I totally thought that, and I was not correct.
Right.
But
or were you? Because we'll do a spoiler section. But I don't know.
But yeah, I totally was like suspicious because she was like just too nice, you know.
And it just seemed kind of. I mean, she was a vlogger too, so
can't trust those people.
I know. Anyone who puts anything out on the internet is not trustworthy.
Right? Yeah.
By the way, okay, the camp counselor people, the characters, the woman, I had said that like, oh, I know her from something. She is in the episode of The Office where Pam has the baby. She's the nurse.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
And like she's great in that episode because of like one line like sticks out to me so much. It's when Pam's like oh, I read on the internet that you know you need to do this, and then she's like, oh great, you know everything.
Yeah.
Like, just like it's the perfect delivery of that. And I also just recently saw her in Mascots, which was just okay. But yeah, the movie was really unique because like I was really interested in it because Paul Feig directed it, and like it's weird because like I think I may have mentioned this or wanted to mention this on a previous episode, but like I was excited for it because Paul Feig is a guy who I like. He published a couple of like memoirs of his awkward teen years.
Memoirs. We're gonna do this again.
We got sidetracked about that.
Memoirs.
And I didn't get to finish my thought. Oh my god, yes, memoirs.
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 No. Memoirs.
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 Memoirs. Oh my god.
Memoirs. That's not even spelled like that.
Memoirs.
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 Memoirs. Okay.
Memoirs.
He published a couple of memoirs.
Proud of you.
Were finally. It's been months.
It's been years.
Yes. Where he basically recounts all of his awkward teenage stories. God. And like, I mean, it's probably some of the hardest I've ever laughed at a book.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. Like he has like, and I read these like years and years ago, but they still stand out. Cause like he had one where he was in high school and he wanted, like he got assigned or he, volunteered for, the announcer at the football game for the high school.
Right.
And if you've been to a high school football game, it's usually just like, oh, number 21, John Smith with the tackle. All right. And, it's just very dry.
All right.
But he was convinced that he needed to do a big performance and like do like color commentary and like a play-by-play thing.
Oh boy.
And I think he got like,
did it go
out.
well?
No, it didn't. But anyway, and then he also has an anecdote about how he tried to perform fellatio on himself, and it didn't work. Okay. So, like, I was excited to watch,
were you?
I was excited to watch A Simple Favor because it's just amazing that, like, oh, I'm gonna watch a movie, a suspense thriller mystery movie directed by the guy who I read about him trying to suck his own dick. So, yeah.
In his
memoir.
No.
No? Okay. Memoir.
Just say it normal.
Okay. I can't help it. The covers of it had really good aesthetics though, so.
Oh, stop.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to punch you in the face.
So A Simple Favor.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Don't think it'll make my top 10, but
it was very entertaining.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it was a lot of fun, and I respected Anna Kendrick's character because she had a successful internet kind of endeavor.
She did.
In it. Yeah,
she did.
So someday.
Can we do like a spoiler review?
Yes.
Now?
So we're gonna go into spoilers. I'm gonna probably put this at the end of the episode, so you guys will already know that. We're going to do a spoiler discussion of A Simple Favor. If you have seen the movie and want to skip ahead to that spoiler discussion, check the show notes. Also check the show notes in the app or go to obsessiveviewer.com/OV249. You'll find the show notes for the episode along with the timestamps. And so, yeah, we're going to go into a spoiler review for A Simple Favor. So we just did a spoiler discussion of A Simple Favor. Mm-hmm. So check the show notes for the timestamps on that. So going forward, we do have some TV shows to talk about.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. We had a bunch of time to kill before seeing Searching. So I had you watch several episodes of Nathan For You.
Yeah, basically you were like, well, we're going to watch this and put it on for several hours.
Well, and I will say in my defense, I did that every time. Like, do you want to watch another one?
But it was kind of like you weren't giving me a choice.
Well, no, I was giving you a choice.
But it was good. It was funny.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of the show before that. But it was really funny.
Honestly, I think it's one of the most brilliant comedies.
It's such a unique concept.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Nathan For You is Nathan Fielder. It's a semi-fake reality show where he goes to small businesses and pitches terrible ideas.
Like really terrible ideas.
Really, the first episode, which I don't think we watched, the first episode he goes to a frozen yogurt shop and pitches that they need to make a poo-flavored yogurt.
Yeah, so basically he has gone to like a top business school and gotten pretty good grades.
Yeah. He's graduated from one of Canada's top business schools with really good grades.
And they're like, they show his report card as like A, B, C+.
Yeah.
B. So now he like, that's his business now that he provides like, it's like a consulting service almost.
Like consulting service, yeah.
Yeah, so he goes, and these are real people. Yeah. These are real businesses. Mm-hmm. And they don't know that this show is fake.
Right.
And some of them are like, so this is stupid. This is the worst idea ever. Yeah. And then some of them are like, okay, cool, let's give it a shot.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
One of my favorite episodes and bits is the daddy's watching thing.
God, it's so awkward.
It's so awkward.
It's a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea. And it is so awkward, but I love when he sells it to the owner of the website because he's like, there's a lot of...
The website is a dating website.
Yes, it's a dating website.
Yeah.
And he tells the owner of it, like, he's not on board with the plan. He's like, oh, that seems a little condescending.
Yeah.
And Nathan just says something to the effect of,
so you think keeping women safe is condescending?
Yeah. And then he's just like, he says like, and now be careful because you don't want to be on camera saying that you don't want to protect women.
And then the guy like does like a 180.
Yeah.
He's totally on board with the plan. So the plan is to assign a daddy to these women. So like it's a guy who they're going to hire to basically be a bodyguard during the date to like keep an eye from a distance. And the idea is they're going to wear like
burqas.
Yeah. Like to blend in.
Yeah.
And so he puts out like an actual ad. One guy answers it and this guy is most definitely a murderer. Like he's like so definitely he has killed someone and he wants to kill this woman.
Yeah. I'm gonna tuck you in.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna tuck her in.
But let's backtrack just a little bit because
man,
they do a test run And like Nathan Fielder as a character in the show has this running thing where he's like the loneliest person on the planet. And they have a woman that's on the site that she's agreed to do the test run for the Daddy's Watching thing. And like she calls him Nate, and then he's like, oh, you can call me Nate, just keep it casual. It's so awkward and just so cringy.
Yeah, it's God, yeah, it's
so cringy.
The whole show is cringy. Yeah. The skydiving episode.
Yes.
Yeah, he's gonna eat some sky. I'm really looking forward to eating some sky.
Now, let's go back to the Daddy's Watching thing.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember the rhyme that they
I don't. It was like Daddy, Daddy, something. I don't.
Yeah.
What is it?
Daddy, Daddy, save me now. Daddy, Daddy, you made a vow, or something like that.
You made a vow, yeah. It's and she's like, why don't I just yell for help? Right. And he's like, well, that could be anybody yelling for help. But with the rhyme, I know it's you. But she has to memorize this rhyme and then repeat it verbatim, word perfect, or else he's not going to come and save her from being murdered.
It's so great. And like the whole setup of him like being outside of her building when the date comes in, like he's carrying a box and he's like, oh, hey, I'm just moving out of the building.
Yeah.
Can you take my picture?
Yeah.
Although I left my camera in the box. Do you have any weapons, like knife or gun?
Something sharp to open, you know?
And then when he takes the picture,
then he's got his fingerprint.
He pulls the fingerprints.
Yeah.
So fucking great. Yeah. And like that's a running thing through all the episodes. Like they go to the most elaborate
unnecessary.
There's one episode that I don't think we watched. It's like the most outrageous thing. One of the most outrageous things that they've done. Basically the pitch is that they go to a hotel and they're like, well, you know, families that are on vacation, like, you know, if they have kids, the parents, when they're on the vacation, they kind of want to have sex, but they have kids. So the pitch is that they have a soundproof spaceship box that they put the kid in so the parents can have sex.
Oh.
The lengths that it goes to are so ridiculous.
Oh boy.
It's, oh my god, like it's
are you crying right now?
I'm almost crying because it's so funny.
Why didn't you show me this episode when you were making me watch this show?
Think about it. I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to show it to you at some point. But
yeah. But yeah, there was several good episodes. The one with the funeral, where you can hire grievers.
Right.
Yeah.
Which that's been a dream of mine. Like I want to hire
because no one's gonna come to your funeral.
Well, no, that's not. I feel like you'd RSVP.
You just walked into that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I kind of want to just hire just a random like stranger to come in and just like not engage with anyone, but like to go up and like say something, like just say like some like horrible truth or something like that, or like some big like fake secret. I'll say, yeah, like Matt embezzled millions of dollars, and
why would you want like your family to think that of you when you're dead though? Why wouldn't it be like something cool?
I can't. Well, maybe it would be something kind of cool, but like
you guys didn't know Matt was an astronaut this whole time.
Exactly.
He went to Uranus.
That's what it'll be.
The first man on Uranus. He went to Uranus. He went around a couple times and he came back to Uranus.
Gave Uranus the old reach around.
You know? Something like that, something cool.
Anyway, yeah, this got away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the skydiving thing is fun. Yeah, I'm excited for you to watch more.
Yeah, it was good. I was very entertained.
Yeah. And speaking of TV, by the way, Nathan For You is available on Hulu. Currently, at least. So speaking of TV, we, before recording, watched 2 episodes of television.
We did. One of your choice and one of mine.
Yes. Mine was 25 minutes. Yours was 41. That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. But we also watched hours of Nathan For You.
But that was fun for both of us.
Yeah. Well, so was this.
It was fun.
You enjoyed yourself more than you thought you would.
I did, because I had like the 15 minutes of prep to learn everything. Which we'll talk about yours first. Okay. So I requested that you watch the Twilight Zone season 1 episode, "The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street," which is so far in my watching of the Twilight Zone, because I have a solo side project podcast called Anthology, which I'm bringing back soon, I promise, where I'm reviewing the Twilight Zone as a first time viewer. So I'm midway through season 2. So at this point, my favorite episode has been "The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street." So, Kyrsten, what did you think of the episode?
It was good. It was very suspenseful. I didn't know how it was going to end, but it was very like telling of human nature.
Yes,
you know that we're quick to assign blame to someone to we have to have a bad guy,
right?
You know, someone has
a scapegoat.
And a scapegoat. Yeah.
With a good aesthetic and a good scapegoat.
This will all be in your memoir.
Exactly.
But yeah, we're quick to mob mentality is like a real thing.
Yes. Oh yeah. And I think that episode is a great depiction of mob mentality.
Mom mentality.
Mom mentality.
Clean your room.
Clean the room or the monsters will get you. But yeah, like the episode was written kind of in reaction to the Red Scare and like the writers being blacklisted in Hollywood. Like Rod Serling had a lot of friends that were blacklisted because they were supposed communist sympathizers. And it was an era where, you know, people named names just to not be, you know, accused.
It's not me, it's that guy.
Exactly.
You know?
So that's the thing that sticks out to me, and like it's something that I feel resonates today also with our current political climate and everything. With the horse in the hospital. But yeah, did you enjoy the episode?
I did. Yeah. I've watched episodes of the Twilight. I've never like watched the Twilight Zone, like sat down and watched the entire thing. Okay. But I've seen episodes.
Because you want to watch the episodes and then listen to my podcast reviewing them, right?
Well, I watched it when I was in like middle school.
Oh, the podcast didn't exist yet. Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, no time like the present. You can start it from the beginning and
we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So Teen Wolf.
Yeah. My choice was Teen Wolf. And now, here's the thing. If I was truly going to make you watch an episode of something, I wouldn't have chosen Teen Wolf. I would have chosen like that one episode of Flashpoint that I want you to watch.
Oh, yeah.
With Tatiana Maslany. But you shit on Teen Wolf so much for someone who hasn't seen it.
I feel like I don't. Not that much.
You definitely look down your nose at me.
Just because I have a refined
here's the
television palette.
Here's the thing. I know it's an MTV scripted TV show. I know it's kind of trash. I get that. I don't take it seriously. Okay. It had several like great actors. You know, Dylan O'Brien, Tyler Hoechlin. It's Arden Cho. It's got some really like it's not as bad as everyone assumes it is when they hear, it's, you know, that movie from the 90s, you know?
Right. 80s, I think.
Is it an 80s movie?
I think so. It at least
late
feels
80s
like
or early 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the 80s.
Some of it's not great because it's still an MTV scripted TV show. But I showed you one of my favorite episodes. It's season 3, episode Riddled, which highlights Dylan O'Brien, who is like one of the breakout actors from the show. Yeah. Highlights his acting skills.
And he did a really good job.
Yeah.
He gave a really good performance as someone who's struggling with something he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And it did have some heart, like between him and Scott.
Yeah. Who is the
titular Teen Wolf. Yeah. She made notes and everything. She was
I had to because I showed you an episode that I didn't want to show you the first episode because it's not that great. Okay, you know, season 1 was a little rough before they found like their footing. But season 3 is by far like that's like the height of the show.
Well, yeah, you've got the Nostriuni.
Nogitsune. Good effort.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nostradamus.
I know. I'm a regular Agent McCall here.
Yeah. Well, you got that right.
Nice.
Yeah. And you even like referenced it correctly.
Nice.
Because he's out of the loop.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like the height of the show, season 3.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
It ran for
6 seasons.
6 seasons. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I knew that we were going to do this,
this is totally unplanned.
It was completely impromptu. I honestly wouldn't have showed you the Monsters Do on Maple Street because I would have showed you probably an episode of Lost. And I would have had my own diagram. I would have explained everything.
So I want to propose something to you.
Okay.
If
you're going to propose. Nice.
No, shut up. Yeah, right. If I were to pick a TV show and you were to pick a TV show,
okay,
that were maybe comparable in length,
okay,
maybe like, I usually come over like at least once every 2 weeks or something,
right?
And we'll watch something. Why don't we watch an episode each time I come over, and we'll get through a show. So we can each recommend something to each other.
I like that.
Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Yeah. So, like, are you saying that we would each pick a show, then whenever you come over, we'd watch an episode of each show?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like, if you like, let's say I pick Teen Wolf. I may pick Flashpoint instead because I gotta say Flashpoint's probably my all-time favorite TV show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Both of those are 45-minute episodes. So maybe like if you picked like Twilight Zone, let's say we could watch 2 episodes of Twilight Zone, 1 episode.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be Twilight Zone just because the whole point of anthology is I'm going through it as a first time viewer.
Gotcha. All right.
It would be Lost.
Okay. I know that's your favorite show.
Oh my god, it's my favorite show. Because there's like a plane. And
when it came out, I was in high school, and it was just like I was so busy all the time because I did like a lot of extracurricular stuff in high school. I wasn't home a lot. I would watch it when it was on because I thought it was like such a cool concept, but I wasn't able to watch it regularly enough to keep up with it.
Okay.
So what I saw, I really liked. I just didn't get a chance to watch it all the way through, so I would be down for that.
Nice. Okay, yeah. We have it documented now.
All right,
we're doing this. So yeah. What are you going to pick Flashpoint?
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick Flashpoint.
Okay,
well, the quality of Flashpoint overall is much higher.
Okay, sure. And Lost is one of the best shows in the history of television. With one of the most perfect series finales. Yeah, just fight me.
All right.
Yeah. As the kids say, don't at me. That's what the kids that's what the kids say.
Youths.
Yes, youths.
Okay, well, cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, that's the plan. We also,
I've been thinking about that all night. I wanted to bring it up. So
thinking about what?
The proposal to.
Oh yeah, you proposing to me? Okay, cool.
No, stop saying that.
What?
My dad listens to this. Dad, we're not getting married.
No. Like I'd want to get married. Yeah. Anyway, so. I want to talk about Heartland, but also I do have we talked about another idea, for an episode in the future where you would pick a movie that you loved as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
That I haven't seen. And I would pick a movie that I loved as a kid that you hadn't seen. And I think we agreed Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, that would be my pick.
Yes.
That was like my favorite movie as a kid.
Nice. And I think my pick would probably be Three Ninjas.
Okay, which I haven't seen.
Yes. I haven't seen it in a long time, so we'll have that on the back burner.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but to kind of wind down the episode, have I mentioned this on the podcast? I put in a request for press passes for Heartland, and I got one for you. So we went to the kickoff party for Heartland 2018, which is their 27th year in Indianapolis.
Really impressive.
Really impressive.
Yeah.
They are a film festival in Indianapolis. They've been running for now 27 years. They're a really good, if you've listened to the podcast for a while or gone through the backlog, you've heard episodes where we talk about Heartland. And last year I didn't really do anything with Heartland, but this year I'm planning on doing a lot more. And with you having a press pass as well, it'll be fun to, see Heartland movies, with you. Although you are in a show.
I am. And I when we were originally talking about Heartland, I wasn't thinking about it in reference to when the show opens, and Heartland runs the 3rd and 2nd week before the show. So 2 and 3 weeks before the show opens. So I'm going to be there as much as I can.
Right. And you don't have a rehearsal schedule yet, right?
No, because our director is in a show right now.
Oh, okay.
That opens. I think his show opens next week.
Okay.
So
is it Anthony?
No, Anthony is in the show.
Oh, okay.
He is. If I could plug it, actually.
I was totally going to give you a venue to plug it.
Let me pull up the. So the show is called Yellow Heat: Vincent Van Gogh and Arles, and it is the story of the historical character of Vincent Van Gogh living as a poor, starving artist in Arles, and it features several people who were real people in Vincent's life who he painted, and it's only going to be showing for one night.
Okay.
So it's November 3rd at 7 p.m. It's going to be in the Hamilton Theater, which is in the Needhammer building downtown. And it's going to be part of the Dionysia Short Play Festival, which is something that it's an annual festival put on by Chaos Company Theater. And basically, local playwrights, and it started as local playwrights, but it then became national, and now it's worldwide. They have playwrights from all around the world, who submit, I think they're like 15-minute, clippings of full-length shows that they have written, and they're assigned to directors, and it's a whole, showcase of these 15-minute plays. The audience votes, and whichever play gets the most votes, gets a full-length production the next year. So nice. Yellow Heat is the show that won last year's short play festival. Okay. So it's getting a full production now. Nice. And it's pretty exciting. What they're doing this year is a little different. They're doing they're calling it an artist's bazaar. So there's going to be a bar, there's going to be food, they're going to have like booths with arts and crafts set up. That's awesome. And they're doing 2 showings of the short play festival. So so 2 full productions of the short plays.
The short plays.
And then they're capping off the evening with Yellow Heat. Okay. So you can buy like different kinds of passes. You can buy just a ticket to Yellow Heat. You can buy just a ticket to the Short Play Festival. You can buy like a full day pass. So, yeah, that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And what day is it again?
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Yeah, there's you can find ticketing information on brown paper tickets.
Nice. And I will put a link in the show notes as well. And once again, we'll have I'll put the call out for all of the Obsessive Viewer listeners to go to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that worked really well.
It did. Well, to be fair, your friend's show was sold out a lot. Yeah. And also, this will be a lot better to navigate because it's just one set date.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah. So yeah, more information on that is to come. Yeah, I'm excited for it. So
yeah, it's going to be fun. It's a really good show. Nice. It's going to be a really good, it's going to be a really good production. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot, and I can cut this out if you want me to.
Oh boy.
But like, have you submitted any of your shows to Dionysia?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Okay.
I dabble in playwriting. I've had 2 plays produced and published. But I've never written a full-length production, and that is one of the requirements for the Dionysia Short Play Festival. It has to be a full-length,
completed one?
Yeah, show, and then you submit a cutting of it. Right. But I've never written a full-length show. I've written one acts. So it's, yeah, no, I haven't.
So no, okay. Nice. Well, that's cool. Well, I do hope that you write more.
Thanks.
Yeah, I've read some of your work, and it's good. I liked it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So Heartland, we went to the kickoff party.
Yeah.
That was your first experience with Heartland Film Festival.
It was. Yeah.
How'd you feel about it? How'd you feel about the atmosphere? Like you ran into people you knew.
Yeah, that was fun. It's like this whole community that I didn't know about.
Right.
And it's, obviously these people are like very invested in the film festival. I think it's really great. It's got a lot more energy behind it than I realized.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a big thing. It's funny because like my first experience with Heartland years and years ago, probably like well before the podcast. Actually, I'll let you know exactly what year it was.
Because I care.
Yeah, well, my listeners care.
If you care, tweet at us and let us know.
But only if it's in 2024. So, 2010, So like 8 years ago, because me and my sister and my friend Molly, we were planning on going to see Catfish at the Castleton Theater. Yeah. And we went all the way to the theater, and they were like, oh, yeah, this isn't playing here because we have Heartland. And I'm like, what is Heartland? So that was my first experience with that. But
good story.
Yeah, but my first experience as like a member of a journalistic entity, such as ObsessiveViewer.com podcasts, was like 2013, 2014? 2014. 2013. I don't know. But anyway, check the feed. It's good stuff.
Verify for Matt what year he started covering Heartland.
But only if it's 2024. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's like the energy about it. It's like there's kind of a different feel to watching a movie in that setting.
Yeah.
Just
knowing that everyone there is like
passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the fact that a lot of times they'll have the filmmakers in attendance.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's exciting. I've always wanted to branch out and go to more film festivals and stuff. Like as we're recording this, Fantastic Fest is going on in Austin, Texas, and like that would be amazing to go to. Also, I talked a lot at the beginning of the year about Sundance in Utah. Like that is on my bucket list. I would love to go to Sundance, but it's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Well, when you're a rich and famous podcaster,
exactly.
You can go.
So if it's 2024 and I haven't been a successful millionaire podcaster,
millionaire, wow,
yeah, millionaire.
Then what?
Then
if you
don't tweet at me.
Oh,
because that might
don't remind me.
Don't remind me. I'm really looking forward to 2024 now. But
sounds like it's going to be a year to remember.
I think it will be. Yeah. So yeah, do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
I think we did.
That was a good thorough review.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How long have we been talking?
We've been talking just shy of 2 hours. Ooh. So kind of that's our thing.
Yeah.
So I do like that idea. We will have to do the TV show swapping stuff. Yeah, that'll be fun. Lost. Also Flashpoint, sure. But anyway, so anything else that we need to discuss, or should we?
I think we should cut it.
Okay, well,
cut it.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, tickets are on sale for Shocktober in Irvington. Shocktober.irvington.com. That will take you to the Facebook page. The event is set up there. Buy tickets. Buy a lot of them. Come to the event. It'll be fun.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you'll get to meet Kyrsten and like her whole family too.
Yeah, my whole family will be there.
And my mom will be there.
Aww, Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy. That's creepy. You haven't met my mom.
No, I haven't. I don't think I have.
No, you haven't. I'll introduce you.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Fecus will not be there. Yeah. So, yeah. So, Fecus, if you're listening to this,
we're disappointed.
We are.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Just disappointed. No, it's
and a little
fine.
mad.
And a little mad. Yeah. Also, shout out to Matt Andraco, Patreon subscriber to the podcast. He donated a ton of Funko Pops to raffle off at Shocktober in Irvington. So more details
Good
about all
ones too.
that.
Like that's exciting.
Oh, amazing! A ton of ones and like Kyrsten's favorite serial killer in movies, Michael Myers.
Yeah. That guy.
Do you get it? Because we reference anyway.
Yeah.
So come to Shocktober in Irvington. It'll be a lot of fun. October 12th, 2018. At the Playground Production Studios. And, that will do it for this episode of the podcast. Next time, it's going to be episode 250.
Wow.
And And we actually have a special episode planned. Tiny's finally going to be back. He and I are picking a movie from the IMDb Top 250 for each of us to watch, and then we'll review the movies in the episode as our big 250th episode. So look forward to that. And also check out Tower Junkies, our podcast. We're reviewing Castle Rock, slowly but surely, and check out Anthology because I'm going to have more episodes coming out soon. Having said all that, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
This Halloween season, come to Nightmare on Edgewood, Indy's most intense haunted attraction. experiencing #1 must-see haunt in Indiana for 2017 as voted by Nationwide Scare Factor Haunt Reviews. Nightmare on Edgewood is open every Friday and Saturday night beginning September 29th, and the season runs through November 4th. For more information and to buy tickets, visit nightmareonedgewood.com. And follow Nightmare on Edgewood on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for weekly deals. Nightmare on Edgewood is conveniently located 1 mile south of 465, just east of US 31 on the Edgewood Baseball Diamonds. Nightmare on Edgewood. Sweet dreams are not made of this.
And so, yeah, we're going to go into a spoiler review for A Simple Favor.
A few weeks ago, I met Emily, this wonderful, elegant person. Our sons brought us together, actually.
Come here, little dude.
Can me and Miles have a play date today?
You drink? Does your kid drink? Maybe? I mean, it's never too early to start teaching
I
them.
think you're joking, but great.
J'adore mon poisson rouge.
Every time we do this, I feel so high tone.
Want to trade confessions?
No.
Come on. What's the wildest thing you've ever done?
She is an enigma, my wife. You can get close to her, you can never quite reach her. She's like a beautiful ghost.
Did you just take my picture?
Okay, so we are going into a spoiler review of A Simple Favor, and we are spoilers on for A Simple Favor. What are you doing?
Brotherfucker. I gotta say, I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that either.
She's telling the story, and I kind of know where it's heading, and I kind of thought it was going to end with the kiss, and then I quickly realized, well, that would. So she slept with her half brother.
Yes,
total blood relation.
Right,
half brother.
And as long as unless we get legislation passed, I'm joking, guys.
And then you find out that they maintained the affair for years, and he pretty definitely fathered her child.
Yeah. And I have a theory. I have a theory on that.
What?
Because I think it's almost certain that he was the father of the child. Because
it was heavily implied.
It was heavily implied, but it wasn't confirmed.
I'll tell you. I think it was. I'll tell you why. Because the whole bit when Blake Lively is trying to get out of her that she actually fucked him that night after the funeral, and she's like, swear on your father's grave, and she can't lie. She physically can't lie. That's the exact same thing her husband Davis was like, is Miles mine? Tell me he's mine. And she can't, she physically cannot say it. She knows that her brother is the father of her son.
That's I was going to make a shitty joke.
Yeah,
and say that it's her brother's son because the son doesn't have any facial hair and the husband had a beard.
Wow, Matt, you suck at this.
I know. But that is
I was
good
actually
point.
paying attention to the movie.
I did not put that together.
They slipped this thing in. She physically was incapable of lying.
Just like her brother
to Emily.
This thing in.
And,
see what I did there?
And then she just like when she was talking to her husband, she could not tell him that he was the father.
And that's the way that the movie unveils that stuff.
Yeah, that you learn little bits of information a little bit at a time.
It's something that we were both kind of slow on the uptake with it because you get the scene where Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick are talking and then they're drinking or I don't think they're drinking at that point, but Blake Lively is like, oh, are you, what about your husband? She's like widowed. And then she mentions just offhand oh, my brother and him were in the car.
Yeah, you don't have that important information yet.
Exactly.
You don't know anything about the brother. You don't know how significant their relationship was.
Exactly.
So by the time that information comes along, the little slip in about, my brother was in the car too.
Right.
You have completely forgotten that.
And she mentions him as oh, my brother was in the car and the most important person in my, two important men in my life.
The two most important men in my life. Yeah.
And it's when you get to the scene where she tells the story about it, she's very adamant, oh, my half brother. She mentions, it's very clear it's a half brother. I wasn't thinking granted, it was also oh my god, they're gonna have sex. That's so weird.
Yeah. Which it totally is.
It is. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and make a stance on this podcast.
I'm gonna be firm.
It's kind of weird.
You can take that to the press.
Right.
I am. I am against incest.
Yeah. We're against incest on this podcast, but we're pro sharks.
Yeah, thank you. Good. That's
and
finally.
anti-vending machines.
Yeah.
But and if you listen to past episodes with Tiny, we're pro BDSM too.
Sure, I don't kink shame unless it's incest.
Exactly.
So
anyway, so we learn that they have sex, and then like they don't touch on that at all.
They touched on it.
Oh, God.
They sure did.
Yeah. Like there's references to like, oh, brother fucker and everything. Like that's a kind of running thing. But then like it wasn't until later.
But we are led to believe it was one incident.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it didn't even enter my mind that they would have maintained any sort of relationship.
Me neither. And then you find like when they go back to the car crash scene and they talk about that, like we both looked at each other like, oh my God, her brother.
God. Yeah.
Oh God, that was really cool. I really loved the way that all of that was
It was
done.
a great way to tell the story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of similarities to this and Gone Girl, which I won't spoil Gone Girl for anyone, but it's kind of felt like a comedic take on the kind of Gone Girl story. I don't know where it falls in the timeline as far as when the novel was first published versus when Gone Girl was first published, but there are similarities to be drawn. But what I also really liked was the mystery aspect of it. I thought it was a pretty engaging mystery.
Yeah.
When you see that when they find Blake Lively's character, her body, like you know that something's up. Like there's not.
You know that's not
really
the end
dead.
of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could not believe that Anna Kendrick moved in with that dude. I was like, do not do it.
And I was so convinced that this was, I was thinking throughout the movie that it was going to turn out to be like an unreliable narrator kind of thing where we're following Anna Kendrick, but she turns out to be just batshit insane, and
I thought she did it. I thought
too.
it was going to be revealed that she was behind it all.
Yeah.
And that unreliable narrator that she killed her so that she could step into her life.
Because the way that she's dancing around when she's moving in, it's like seems like okay. And then also the first scene when she talks about like, oh, my best friend's missing, it kind of felt like her tears were a little fake. Like
it rang a little false.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, we know that by then she already has uncovered a fair amount of information. She's already suspicious by that point. That's right before she takes the trip to Michigan.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
So, yeah. So she knows it's not just Emily disappeared.
Right.
By that point.
Right.
But I was like, I could not believe wholesome little Stephanie.
Yeah.
Slept with her dead best friend's widow the night of the funeral.
Yeah.
And
was it the night of the funeral?
Yes. When she and Sean slept together, it was the night of the funeral.
That's right, because the kids were like going crazy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Damn.
And then, like,
she has a thing for sleeping with guys the night of funerals.
Yeah, funerals really rev her engine.
I know, right?
Just death in general. It got a little convoluted for me toward the end. I wasn't sure who was double crossing whom. I felt like it flip flopped back and forth, and I felt like that was done purposefully to keep the audience on their toes, but it was a little hard for me to track. Yeah, it was seemed like they were trying to make it they were trying to lead us to believe that it was possible that Sean was involved in it. Yeah. Even though we had, even after we had that scene where Emily is talking to him in the diner. Yeah. And pulls the gun on him. We know, at that moment, okay, he had nothing to do with it. Right. But, it kind of seemed like they were trying to make us think that later, too. But, then, Emily and Stephanie meet up at the grave. Yeah. And then they are trying to set up Emily, and it's double cross you, and we're working together. Now we're working together. I'll reveal to you. I already told you this. I thought it was going to end with Emily and Stephanie running away together. Yes. I thought that in the scene where you find out that Stephanie and Sean are trying to set up Emily, trying to get her to confess, and they've tapped the entire apartment. I thought it was going to be Emily and Stephanie setting up Sean to take the fall for all of it, and then they were going to escape with the $4 million life insurance policy or something like that.
Yeah.
Because of the scene when they're at the grave.
Yes.
And Emily and Stephanie have this conversation, and it goes down something like, this could go one of two ways. It could go this way, or it could go that way.
Right.
And then Emily says, or there's a third option. And then that's the end of the scene. Then they cut to the next scene, and I'm like, ooh, what's the third option? Third option is the two of them. Because now the reason I thought that was because there was a scene where they flash back to where you find out that Emily and Stephanie made out with each other.
Yes.
And
I do want to point out that, like, it made it a little more convoluted because, like, that scene, like, in my head, I'm like, oh shit, like, there's more to their friendship than what we've been shown. And, like, there really wasn't, except for that one thing. It just seemed kind of weird that they would go back and say, like, oh, these two hot women made out for a minute.
Exactly. That's why I thought it was going to pay off, because I thought that they were going to be like, they were going to, maybe they had been having an affair the whole time, or maybe, you know, I don't know. I really thought that they were going to take the money and run with their kids.
Yeah. And also the fact that, like, when they're at the gravesite, like, this is the first time that Stephanie is seeing Emily.
Yeah,
like,
she wasn't shocked to see her.
She wasn't shocked. They played it out.
There was nothing Stephanie was straight. Not afraid of Emily.
There was no like, oh, hey, you really are alive. And I kind of get what they were going for with that, because at that point,
Stephanie had all the cards.
She had all the cards. She even said that she had all the cards.
She like turned it all on Emily.
Yeah, and she's also grown as a character. Like, she's become less awkward. She like confronted the boss, which was a great scene.
It was a great scene. But I really thought that the reason they went back and showed us that scene was because they were going to reveal that they were going to like run off together. Yeah. And we didn't get that. And then I was like, well, then why did they show us the scene of them making out?
Right.
Why? It served no purpose then.
Exactly. And then you also have the kind of running thing of Stephanie being jealous of the teacher's assistant. And it, like, they had the scene where she walks in, which I thought was kind of funny in its awkwardness, because the teacher's assistant comes in and it's like, oh, hey, handsome. Do you have a minute? And it's like, they're setting it up to, like, you could see that they were kind of setting it up to be, like you said, like, it could have been that they were going to set up Sean to take the fall for everything, and that was going to be the seed that is planted there. But, like, I feel like as a red herring, it wasn't effective enough. It wasn't communicated well enough, because there's really only like one scene with that.
Well, I don't know, because there's a whole What's the scene when she gets back from Michigan and he's like, oh, I could have watched the kids, and she's like, oh, I thought, you know, we both needed some space, and she says something about, she throws like all of his own words back at him. He's like, you sound crazy. Yeah. Take a Xanax. Take two. Yeah. You know? And she's like, she comes back and she's like, I feel 1 million times better. Maybe even 4 million or something like that. And I'm like, she's like definitely taking the piss here. You know?
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know. I thought it was going to end in a different. Not that I'm unhappy with how it ended, because it was still like totally unexpected and crazy and stuff out there.
You're messing up your knees. I'm concerned about your
really
knees.
worried about your knees right now.
So great.
Oh, Emily, you were just hit by a car. Come on.
It
was crazy.
Yeah. It did become kind of convoluted, but
and then
it was entertaining.
Yeah, it had kind of a slapstick ending.
Yeah,
Darren shows up. Like, first of all, how did he get away from the police?
I know. Yeah, well, he had a prescription for the weed.
Okay, but he shows up. And he's like, you mess with one mom, you mess with all of us. He just ran over a person with his car.
Yeah. And I loved the reveal of the nanny cam on the button.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you noticed it, but when it flashed to the, like, showing the live feed and everything, one of the comments was, did she just confess to murder?
I did see that. I loved reading the comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Also, 1 million subscribers. That's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, guys,
step it up.
I know, right? I mean, do I really have to murder Kyrsten to get you guys to, get to 1 million? I'll disappear you first.
You'll disappear me?
Yeah.
Also, Blake Lively was really good.
Yeah, she was really good.
When she played her own twin.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, footage edited together of two Blake Lively's. Like, she was playing two very distinct characters.
Exactly.
It very well done.
Yeah.
So that was appreciated.
Totally. I really liked her performance.
God, and she looked so cool. The entire movie. God,
like
she looked so badass.
Yeah, and like she's so
the gloves and she looked cool.
And like she's so nonchalant and everything, and like when she's making the martini, she's like, she could have played it like, oh, I have power over you because I'm, cool and you want to be my friend. But it was like she was very kind of chill, much like the martinis that she made. She was chilled. Until,
that was good.
So that's good. Yeah. Okay. So we just did a spoiler discussion of A Simple Favor. So check this show out. So look forward to that. And also check out Tower Junkies, our podcast. We're reviewing Castle Rock slowly but surely. And check out Anthology because I'm going to have more episodes coming out soon. Having said all that, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Test.
Testicles. 1, 2, 3. You got an extra.
One more time?
I said testicles. 1, 2, 3. You got an extra.
Thank you for listening to The Obsessive Viewer, presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. You can find more of our episodes at ovpodcast.com, and you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or anywhere else podcasts are found. If you'd like to support the show, the best and easiest way is to leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews means it'll be easier for people to find the show in the highly competitive film and TV podcast genre. It also provides us with valuable feedback on the show. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a one-time PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate or become a patron at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer for recurring donations with different reward tiers. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, notebooks, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can also buy other great TeePublic designs in our store, and we'll get a small commission on the sale. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. The Obsessive Viewer's theme song is An Eclipse of Events and is provided by Loudli from their EP, Mistakes We Must Make. You can find that and more great music from them on iTunes, and like their Facebook page at facebook.com/loudlikemusic. Any and all feedback on the podcast is encouraged. We love to hear from you guys. You can contact us by emailing podcast@obsessiveviewer.com or by tweeting us at obsessiveviewer, at obsessivetiny, and at IamMikeWhite. You can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at facebook.com/theobsessiveviewer, where you can take part in discussions and polls between episodes. For more podcast content, check out Anthology, Matt's solo podcast, where he's reviewing The Twilight Zone as a first-time viewer and exploring other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows. You can find Anthology at anthologypod.com and anywhere podcasts are found. For book lovers, you can check out our sister site at obsessivebooknerd.com for book reviews, author spotlights, and a general celebration of reading. Finally, if you're philosophically curious, check out Tiny's side project podcast, The Secular Perspective, which explores the concepts of faith, religion, and existence from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda. You can find that at thesecularperspective.com and subscribe to the podcast on the app of your choice. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.